Well, good morning, everybody on the raid team. Wanted to do a quick review before I head to work involving the content that we did last night. A great job on being able to get to Argus. We got him down to 4%. I was like, all right, after all that time and effort and whatnot. But what we do need to talk about is we need to trim up the amount of deaths that we got going on. Now, as a team, we're going to have to sit there and just start making these calls where, for example, if performance isn't there, throughput isn't there, item level isn't there, I'm sorry, we can help on Tuesdays. We'll be able to help on Sundays, Mondays. I don't care. I'll raid 5 days a week if it helps you guys get into a position of success. But on nights like Thursday, for example, and Tuesday, we really need to work it. We need to put ourselves out there and do the best that we can. So here's a little tidbit that I like to do that helps me with understanding what's going on as a player. And I highly recommend that you do the same. You go into Warcraft logs, right? So you go up into the Discord, click on the log for the most recent one. And then what I like to do is you click on this section right here, and it's going to bring up this secondary. And what you can do is you can click on rankings. And then from rankings, you set up specific information. Our item level, for example, is 956. So you want to find that as a team. That's too low. We got to get that up. As far as kill time and size, you can just kind of compare and take a look around, and eventually what you do is you find logs that are like what I'm about to show you here, right? So this is Coven right before, this is a top 50 execution by a Horde guild, right? Horde. That was executing on Coven, and what I wanted to show was right here. This is when Storm came through. So as you can see, they moved into specific areas around the tanks, for example, and the tanks did the best job that they could to put them in a relative position where it was safe. But what I want to note, what I want people to notice is that it's about getting to these specific spots as quickly as you can. Now I'm gonna speed this up a little bit here, get that going. Oh yeah, I gotta turn this off. Sorry. Once you do the drawing mode, you gotta move on. Right. So we'll play. We're gonna speed it. It's at 2%. 2 times. So what we'll do is we'll kind of see how they handle each one of them. But so okay, so Storm's wrapped up, then they get back to their clearing, and then as the effects come through, you're able to see, for example, the positioning that they take. So for example, here's the debuff that explodes, right? They kind of take their own spaces. They kind of work one side of the room consistently. I kind of like how they're doing this here, a little bit different. Normally we're in here in this section here, and then here comes the next Storm of Darkness, and everybody hauls butt and gets over to where they're at. So it looks like this is going to be at this point, it's going to be the healers, right? So they should have busted into a heroic. They clearly forgot. But see, even with forgetting to do that, they're able to be a top 50 execution in the last month, right? That's pretty amazing. I mean, that's really great execution. I'll show you their summary in a second through the analyze function here. I don't know if I pointed that out, but replays in the upper right hand section and then analyze. And then I've done compare videos in the past, and they'll filter their way in as we do more and more of those. But naturally, since they're in this section here, they probably made that adjustment on purpose, because look at how much damage is already in this section here to be able to immediately engage on that target, okay? So just a little tidbit of an adjustment that we can make that makes it a little bit easier for us to execute. Boom, they go over to where the other tank is. They start wrecking that one. Cut that one down. Go to the third one. Clearly, I mean, they probably used pots. They probably had their offensive cooldowns available. I mean, if you see these people's throughput, it's really good. Stop through the roof. Again, remember, when we're talking about your percentage to item level to execution, 50-60% is awesome. Like, it really is. Like the 90% and all that stuff, that's just because of extreme cases. You're never going to get that unless, for example, you get the perfect opportunity over like 5, 6, 7 minutes where basically you don't move and all you get to do is punch whatever it is in the face, right? So you just got to kind of look at it like that, and then, and just understand the correlation that's going on. So they're chugging along again. They're looking at their positions. They're doing a really great job of keeping their spacing. Going to keep working through. They're avoiding the sabers. They're getting specific positions for the attacks as they're coming through. These are the fire guys. So again, it's like they're clearing in this area here. You see that there's a lot of damage and whatnot in the presence of this section here. They're clearly ripping through them through concentrated attack sequences where everybody's got their focus damage in as the best they can. I really liked how they cleared up where the tanks were initially. That really helped out. So maybe we'll try something like this. Like, you know, we'll line up on this side here. I mean, it's the same as doing it here, but maybe it'll just be a little easier for us doing it like so. We're going to continue to work through the target. Clearly the ice effects are coming out now, which is slowing people down. The boss is at 28%. Okay, so here's how they're going to handle walls, okay? So, again, they brought it into the center, so that worked out pretty well. It looks like they've got some stuns going in this section here. They got some stuns going in this section here. So 2 designated sections, absolutely, that they took care of the targets. They continue to move in. You see their spacing. And then everybody's just going to kind of gravitate into their 2 areas and be able to do. Now you'll see in a second they disappear because they're marching at this point. It's just something of the replay. And then this is how they appeared. So they cleared out this corner, they cleared out that corner. So they're constantly using, for example, this area to battle within and work. You've got some outliers here with this player, for example, but naturally they're hunter, they're range, they're able to work into the target. They're clearing everything up, and then they go back to their original form consistently. I feel like, honestly, like you see these 2 heals kind of hang out in this general area consistently. They probably got another heal, like I think that's the one right there. Maybe this one is too. Yeah. So you've got these. You got 2 healers designated for this group and 2 designated healers for that group. So that's really smart because what it's doing is it's correlating position. Here's lightning coming through at the end of the fight here and how they're dealing with it and their spacing. It gives an opportunity so that you always know you have like 2 heals in their spacing. This paladin probably moved itself so that it can heal on both sides here. But you keep seeing that relativeness where these 2 heals were going this way and this heal here, and then there was another one somewhere that was going in this section here. So, you know, it's just about relative spacing and what they're doing on a consistent basis. Now we're going to rotate to the next one. This is Argus, the Unmaker. The only part that I really want to show is at this juncture right here. This is pretty much the fight going on where we were picking it up and then having some issues. And I just really, like, we did a lot of it right. The issues that we ended up not doing well was bomb removal. As good as we can, and then you'll see the secondary factor that's really going to help in their success. So they're engaging, right? They've got the they got the ads out. They're dealing with them, burning them down. Now the spacing on this first rotation is not going to be that good. So, you know, but this is a top 12 execution in the last month for a raid team, relative to the size that we had as we were going. So you see how the spacing is. That's how much. That's 40 yards. Okay, so that's how tight you have to be, for example, like in this corner, and then where we have to be here. Now, they're going to get even tighter, especially once they start rotating into the second, third rotation of those bombs coming up and the ads coming up consistently. Seems like that's the gift of the life bender there, okay? But, see, this is a perfect example of it. Like, they're already starting to get this spacing, and then what you're going to see is they're going to come even closer. So, eventually, what they end up doing, use the drawing mode, is that they start taking up like this area in here specifically. They do extend out into this section a couple of times. Remember, we always want to get the bombs to these sections here and then use a defensive. So every single time. And the best way to do that is to just immediately activate your speed boost and get to that section. Now, if you could clear it, like you can bubble or whatever defensive that you have that might get rid of it, or a defensive that will just help you with mitigating it, I highly, highly recommend that that's what you do. Okay? So again, remember, it's speed boost to the spot, etc., speed boost, and then detonate if possible. And then everybody in this section in here needs to be as tight as possible right in that section right there, okay? And you'll see that as they continue going forward, right? They'll get tighter and tighter and tighter as far as their spacing, and then it's just shifting, because in reality you're just dealing with that 3-yard AoE rotational that comes down on the ground. It's like a meteorite, so you just got to dodge that spacing. See, like right there, that one actually killed somebody because they didn't get far enough out to be able to do what they had to. They're not getting as much damage into the targets like they need to. But they're still getting it done. You know, they're still working through it. And I know we got to 4%, for example, but this is the area where we really got to tighten up on the execution of it. But see how they get closer and closer. That was really my biggest observation that I saw from watching it. I feel we got phase 1 through 3 pretty good. We could definitely tighten it up. We had a couple of drop ball actions there where we could have gotten a touchdown, but, you know, and everybody lived. Like the spacing right here, like this is going to wreck these two. They use defensives just to mitigate the overall damage throw output. But they were able to get the overall damage in, and then they just continue burning through the target. There's tons and tons going on there. Again, I wanted to show you the analysis on Coven for damage done, right? So this is what all purple execution looks like, right? So their item level and whatnot. And so this is where we need to start working towards always. You know, you got to start working towards getting this thorough put out on a consistent basis. You'll see the same too here. They've got all purple, you know, they get a 99 percentile execution by this Frost mage here. This is just the kind of damage that we have to have coming out of the targets on a consistent basis, or out of us on a consistent basis, okay? If you have any questions, please reach out to me or to Murphy. We're going to get the schedule posted sometime in the afternoon today, so that'll give you an opportunity to be able to sign up. And, you know, hey, great job. We're going to keep at it. Argus on Monday as far as heroic, and then into mythics. Sunday normal, and then Tuesday and Thursday are going to be progression mythic. Even if we have to pug, we're going to try and recruit. We're going to do our best to put us in a position of success there, but we'll see, right? You know, it is what it is. And then Wednesday's mythic pluses for the current time being, all right?